just before Abdusattorov played it, the white knight is coming back to the center. It wants to land on this beautiful square on e5, where it will cost black the bishop pair. Yeah, still a bit tense. I think the last few moves Abdusattorov's done really well, just creating some chances at all.
This is what I had the feeling also, that in the last few moves it seems like white recovered from badly placed knight, for example.
Right. But yeah, white might have recovered from those bad pieces, but he is in a must-win situation, and the pawn structure is looking very level, and the more minor pieces that gets traded off, the easier it is for Hikaru to get that necessary draw.
I was surprised that it's not knight g4 what was played, but probably after king g7, knight d4 threat what was bothering him.
Yeah, just Hikaru, he's so good at just staying solid, not doing too much, just covering squares, ready to defend. And okay, the white knight jumps in. The key question is, does black tolerate this knight, or does he kick away this piece immediately, maybe at the cost of a knight for bishop trade? He steps back.
And in time there is no big difference, because Nakamura played so fast, and Nodirbek has only half a minute extra compared to Nakamura.
Yeah, psychologically that must be so unsettling for Abdusattorov, but he's playing quickly himself. He drops back with his queen, getting ready to bring her over to some dark squares on the king side.
Also potentially getting ready to soften up the king side with h4, h5.
But I believe f6 will happen on the board, but of course that's the provocation what not the Nodirbek is doing. No, c5. I'm worried on black's position. Bishop e5, giving this such a weak spot, making such a weakness.
Yeah, we saw it only briefly, but c5 was given a question mark by the engine. Maybe a mistake, maybe just worsening the black position, because suddenly the black bishop is completely trapped. The black rook on a8 cannot get out.
But how is that possible? It was developing to d7, and then a few moves later it's back on c8. and it has no way right now in the next one or two moves to develop.
And your queen has moved to d2, which means that knight g4 is now a possibility, as well as this h5 idea. Oh, it's looking unpleasant for Hikaru.
Just the last 4 or 5 moves. Ever since that bishop retreat, it's all turned against him. Abdusattorov has swung this game in his favor. He's dominant on the dark squares, loving these white pawn chains on dark squares now, and black is just too passive. He needs to break out, but how to do that?
Yes, because it's not only the c8 bishop, but the a8 rook is also stuck there.
Yeah, this rook cannot get out, the bishop cannot get out. Okay, he steps back with the black knight.
Well, probably that was the only move, or somehow trying to get out.
He covers this diagonal with his bishop, but it was given a question mark, this knight move, and that's because white has stepped forward. h5, h6 is coming. The black king is already being trapped, and mating net is being weaved around it. Ooh, already it feels so scary.
It certainly does, and I'm not a big fan of Hikaru closing the tension in the center, because this simply gives white a completely free hand on the king side.
The white queen can come in. Do you use this square f4? Do you use g5? It feels like one of these queen moves must be strong.
g5.
I think f4.
I was thinking g5 because then you can sack.
Yeah, this is the same reason I want to go queen f4, because after queen d6, knight g6.
Yes, that's what I wanted as well, but okay.
But maybe it doesn't work because check on e1 and queen g6.
Well, there's some tactics.
Well,
He
queen
uses
f4.
This is the launch pad for him. The white queen needs 2 moves to sneak in and checkmate on the g7 square. Can Hikaru block this off and delay
After
it?
Queen d6.
Oh, there must be tactics in the air. The black queen can cover the white queen's infiltration square on f6, but...
Well, actually, after
like
queen d6, maybe knight c4 is possible.
Tactics.
And takes.
The white knight will jump out the way with a discovery. Will we see this? Yeah, you're thinking knight takes pawn there. Judith looks very tempting.
Because I want to tie at the end with rook e8 all the pieces.
Yeah.
But there's also no threat for black. There's no good developing move, so you can just take the liberty of moving your king up to g2.
f6 might be a move.
Right.
But already then you want to take on g6.
Yes.
Yeah,
So now the question is queen d6 or queen b6?
Oh, And well, Hikaru Nakamura under 2.5 minutes on the clock. I think Queen B6 would be safer in the grand scheme of things, but Hikaru
But then
with a
knight
very
c4. Knight c4
difficult
really works, I think.
position. Yes. Okay, F5.
Ooh.
Oh, he's